I'm James Haight, founder of Victory Wealth Services. The fact that you're watching this video tells me something important. Making smart choices about your future matters to you. Well, it matters to us too. Today, we're going to talk about something that most people know they should address, but very few people actually plan for it: long-term care. Now, this isn't a sales presentation, it's simply a conversation. A conversation about one of the biggest financial risks in retirement and how families can prepare for it. Because the truth is, most retirement plans are built around one assumption: that life goes according to plan. But what happens if it doesn't? That's what we're here to explore today. I'd like you to imagine something. Imagine yourself 10 or 15 years from now. You're retired. You're spending time with your family. You're traveling, doing the things that you've worked so hard to enjoy. Life is good. Now imagine an unexpected health event changes the conversation. Not necessarily forever, but enough that you need help. Who steps in? Who helps make the decisions for you? Who coordinates care? And perhaps most importantly, who's paying for all of this? Because the conversation that we're really having today is all about that. When you picture your later years, who do you want making decisions about your care? Is it your spouse, your children, a professional caregiver? And perhaps just as importantly, who's paying for it? Most people don't wake up in the morning worrying about long-term care, and that's completely understandable. But the reality is difficult to ignore. Approximately 70% of people turning age 65 today will need some form of long-term care during their lifetime. Now, think about that. That is not a rare event. That's most families. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean years in a nursing facility. It simply means that most of us will eventually face some version of this conversation. And when we do, the cost usually comes, well, from one of three places: savings, your income, or your family. That's why planning matters. Now imagine a couple who did everything right. They saved consistently. They paid off their mortgage. They built retirement income. They've created all their estate planning documents. They've entered retirement feeling prepared. And then one unexpected diagnosis changes the entire conversation. Suddenly, the question wasn't whether they had enough money. The question became, where does the money come from now? And how much of that plan changes? And how much pressure lands on the family? That's the conversation that we're really talking about today. For years, when people thought about long-term care planning, they typically thought about traditional long-term care insurance. And for some families, it can still be a really appropriate solution. But over the years, we found that many people hesitate for three very specific reasons. The first, cost. Long-term care insurance can be expensive. And for many retirees, writing premium checks year after year can feel like a significant commitment, especially when you're trying to create more certainty in retirement, not more expenses. The second challenge is qualification. Traditional long-term care insurance often involves extensive medical underwriting, and many people are surprised to learn that health issues that they can't control, that may have happened years in their past, may affect their ability to qualify. And then there's perhaps the biggest concern of all, number three. It's a use it or lose it problem. Many people ask, what happens if I pay premiums for years, maybe even decades, and I never need care? And that's a reasonable question, because if care is never needed, those premium dollars are simply gone. Now, none of this means traditional long-term care insurance is bad. Many families have benefited from it. But these three concerns, expense, qualification, and use it or lose it premiums, help explain why so many people put off making the decision. And that's what led us to start looking for a different approach. What if we stopped thinking about long-term care as something you buy and started thinking about it as something that you plan for? You see, the goal of planning isn't to predict the future, it's to build something that you can hold up, regardless of how the future unfolds. What if the same dollars could continue working while you're healthy, but also be available if care is really needed later. See, that's the shift, and that's what attracted us to this approach. Meet Bridge. Bridge combines three components into a single strategy: a fixed indexed annuity, a long term care benefit, and a science based wellness program. Bridge is designed to help solve a problem many people struggle with. How do you prepare for care without feeling like you're wasting money if care never happens? And that's what makes this different. Now, we won't get caught up in the mechanics here on this video. We can do that in person. But let's focus on the concept, the idea. The fixed index annuity serves as the foundation. It offers the opportunity for growth while helping protect principal from market losses. Think about that. When the market goes up, you go up. But when it goes down, you stay the same. You won't lose any money. The market goes back up, you go up. It goes down. What happens? You stay the same. You won't lose any money. Now, this happens all while you're healthy. The money continues working for you. If care becomes necessary, additional resources may be available to help address those costs. It is a different purpose, but the same dollars. Now, this is where many people start to lean forward in this video, because this addresses the biggest concern that we've heard over the years. What if I never need care? And that's a fair question. With traditional long-term care insurance, that's often where the conversation stops. But with Bridge, the conversation changes completely. Because if care is needed, resources may be available to help you pay for it. But if care is never needed, the annuity remains in place. The assets are still yours. It is your money. The account still has growth potential. So either way, the money continues serving a purpose. And for many people, that's the moment long-term care planning finally starts to make sense. Let's talk about how the long-term care benefit is determined. Bridge uses three different underwriting classes: secure, standard, and preferred. Think of these classes as multipliers, not grades. It's not pass or fail. Multipliers. Remember that. The question isn't whether you're accepted, because everyone is accepted. The question is how much leverage your dollars will receive. Let's use a simple example. Suppose three people each place $100,000 into Bridge. Each person could receive long-term care coverage, but the amount of coverage differs based on underwriting class. A secure class may create approximately $135,000 of long-term care benefit. A standard class may create approximately $210,000, and a preferred class may create approximately $310,000. The same premium, different levels of long-term care buying power. The healthier you are today, the more buying power your dollars can potentially create tomorrow. Now that you understand the classes, the natural question becomes, what if I don't qualify? And this is where Bridge is different. Everyone who completes the process receives long-term care coverage. Your health history does not prevent participation. The underwriting determines your class. It doesn't determine whether you participate. So that's very different from traditional approved or declined insurance model. And for many people, that's incredibly reassuring. So how do they determine those classes? The process is remarkably simple. First, you schedule a video visit. You'll need a computer with a camera, not your iPhone or your tablet. And so if you don't have one, you're more than welcome to come into our office and we'll set you up in the conference room. Then you'll meet with a representative. They'll guide you through the entire process. You'll answer a few health questions, complete a short memory exercise, and perform a couple of light balance and movement activities. That's it. No needles, no medical records, no blood tests, no doctor office, nothing. Most people complete the entire process in about 30 minutes. And you'll learn your underwriting class right away. Most importantly, there's no way to fail. The class simply determines how much leverage your dollars will receive. I also really appreciate the philosophy behind this next feature. Bridge includes a wellness program called Never Stop. The idea is simple: the healthier you stay, the more your coverage can potentially grow. As participants engage in health focused activities, they may earn wellness credits that permanently increase future long term care benefits. I like this because it creates an alignment. The same habits that may help reduce future care needs can also help increase available benefits. It's one of the few programs that I've ever seen that really rewards people for actively investing in their own health. Let's talk about what happens if care is actually needed, because at the end of the day, that's why we're having this conversation. Once a physician certifies that long term care is required, benefits are paid as a monthly tax free benefit. Did you hear that? Tax free benefit. That's the best kind of tax there is, free. And you get to decide where your care takes place. Now, for many families, the goal isn't simply paying for care, it's maintaining control over where care happens. That may be at home, in assisted living, through adult daycare, or in a nursing facility. The important thing is flexibility. The benefit comes to you not as a reimbursement, not through stacks of receipts that you have to submit. The money is yours to direct where it is needed the most. And those benefits can continue for up to 5 years, even if the annuity's own value has been exhausted. Let's make this real. Meet Carol. Carol is a 70-year-old. Her home is paid off. Her retirement income needs are really covered, and she owns an older annuity that she no longer relies on for income. What she doesn't have is a clear strategy for long term care. Carol isn't looking for a miracle, she's looking for a plan. She simply wants to prepare for the possibility that she may someday need care. So she repositions $250,000 from the annuity into Bridge through something called a tax free 1035 exchange. Now, granted, you could use pretty much any kind of funds other than retirement money, and we can talk about that later, whether it's from your trust, a brokerage account, a CD, any lazy money that you happen to have sitting around. But based on Carol's underwriting class, that creates an initial long term care benefit base of approximately $337,500. That's huge. And an example monthly care benefit of a roughly $6,500 per month. Now remember, this is only a hypothetical example. Every situation is different, but it illustrates a much broader principle. We're not necessarily adding new assets. We're repositioning existing assets with greater purpose. This may be the most important slide of this entire presentation because Bridge is not a retirement plan. No single tool is. A good retirement plan balances 5 core needs: income planning, to help ensure that your money lasts to and through retirement for the rest of your life; investment strategies and planning, so that your money is aligned with your values, your goals, and your risk tolerance; tax efficient strategies. Why? We want to help minimize what you owe and maximize what you get to keep; healthcare preparedness, so that you're prepared for what lies ahead; legacy and estate planning, to protect your family, your values, and your impact. Bridge falls into the healthcare preparedness portion of your plan and somewhat into the safety portion of your plan. Its purpose is to help protect the rest of the plan from potentially significant future expense. You still need income, you still need growth, you still need liquidity. Bridge simply addresses one specific risk exceptionally well: the risk that a future care event could disrupt the remaining retirement strategy that you've worked so hard to build. Bridge may be worth exploring if you recognize yourself here. Perhaps you've wanted long-term care protection, but you worried that you wouldn't qualify. Maybe you have an older annuity, a CD, perhaps a brokerage account, or savings that really isn't serving a specific purpose today. Maybe you've never liked the use it or lose it nature of traditional long-term care insurance. Or perhaps you'd simply like to reduce the burden on your family if care becomes necessary someday. Now, if any of those resonate with you, it's worth exploring a conversation. I'll leave you with this. Long term care planning isn't really about insurance, it's about protecting choices, protecting independence, protecting family, and protecting the retirement that you have spent years building. Whether Bridge is ultimately right for you or not, the real question is this: has your current plan fully addressed long term care risk? If you'd like help answering that question, we'd be happy to have that conversation. No pressure, no obligation, no jargon. Just a thoughtful review of your situation and your options. We'll look at what you currently have. We'll discuss any gaps that may exist. And together, we'll determine whether this approach makes sense for your situation. Simply click through the link on this page to get on our calendar or give us a call at 928-778-1050. Again, click the link on this page or call us at 928-778-1050. Thank you for spending time with me here on this video, and I look forward to speaking with you soon so that you can gain clarity, confidence, and direction.